not prepared to follow its CARICOM partners Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in decriminalizing small quantities of marijuana for medicinal purposes. He made the comments at a community forum on crime and its effects on community tourism hosted by the St. Philip Parish Independence Committee at the Princess Margaret Secondary School.
We will not make a decision based on what's happening in Jamaica or based on what's happening in St. Vincent. Now, they have particular challenges because they had reached a stage where they had no choice because of the large number of users on a daily basis. So they had a particular challenge, and they felt that the way to unclog the criminal justice system was to do the ticketing system.
Mr. Brathwaite believes before Barbados considers decriminalizing marijuana, it must ascertain if such a move would encourage its wider use among the general population and whether it could have negative health care effects.
Believe it or not, based on the study that we had conducted recently, even though the information suggests that there's a wider tolerance to use of marijuana, it was probably about 51-49% in terms of the person's canvas. In other words, there isn't this large lobby for us to immediately go the route of Jamaica and what St. Vincent has been signaling.
Well, the Barbados Union of Teachers is extending an olive branch of sorts to the Education Ministry. President Pedro Shepherd wants both sides to come together to talk about some of the major contentious issues which led to 2015 being described as a trying year for the union. Mr. Shepherd was speaking during a press conference at the union's Maryhill headquarters.
I'm hoping that we can go forward differently this year. So far, I am not seeing it, but I'm hoping that something can happen and that the relationship between the Barbados Union of Teachers and the Ministry of Education would improve over the next few months. This is Education Month, and I believe that this is the perfect time for us to extend our arms to each other. And because the general objectives are basically the same.
Well, tomorrow, Friday, October 16th, is Teachers Professional Day, and principals and teachers have been encouraged to plan activities for their own self-development as part of Education Month 2015. There will be no school tomorrow. Numerous events have already been planned by education officials across the island in order to celebrate that day. Obesity and hypertension appear to be prevalent in school-aged children, and this is among the findings of the cross-sectional survey, the Barbados Children Health and Nutrition Study. Pediatrician Professor Anne St. John presented the findings during an Arnott Cato Foundation symposium at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. She says the two have been seen in children ages 9 and 10. Professor St. John offered some suggestions to combat obesity and hypertension.
We need to identify where to begin, the scope of the challenge with NCDs at country level. We need adherence by the agencies responsible for delivery of pediatric public health care and provision of recommended standards for policy guidelines and a cohesive effort. We need to review the barriers to change, what has been tried and tested, consistency in monitoring and evaluation, dietary and lifestyle changes. We need to strengthen the ability to screen and counsel parents to deal with children prophylactically from the time of weight gain during pregnancy.
And Professor St. John added that since that study, several interventions have been made, and she believes NCDs must be controlled, and she wants parents and caregivers to join in the fight. An emergency shutdown of some Barbados Water Authority pipelines tonight will leave some residents in the northern parish of St. Lucie and surrounding communities without that precious commodity. The BWA says the action is due to exceedingly low water levels at the Half-Acre Reservoir in the north. As a result, there will be an emergency shutdown to some of the pipelines in that system from about 10 tonight until 4 in the morning. Furthermore, the Water Authority says this will continue daily until further notice. The authority says it is in an effort to allow the reservoir to replenish. The dry taps will stretch from St. Lucie to as far as 6 Mens in St. Peter. Now, in addition, the nightly shut-off at the Golden Ridge pumping station is still in effect from 8 at night until 4 in the morning. The affected parishes include St. Thomas, St. George, St. John, and St. Philip. Residents in these areas are advised to store water during the hours of disruption, and the Barbados Water Authority apologizes for the inconvenience. Well, an elderly woman has been reported missing, and lawmen are seeking the public's assistance in locating her. She is 75-year-old Marcel Smith of Farm Road in St. Philip. Ms. Smith was last seen on Monday between 5:30 and 6:30 in the evening. She was driving a silver Toyota Yaris, registration number P2346. Ms. Smith is of a brown complexion, 5 feet 2 inches tall, and has a slim build. She has brown eyes, brown hair, and an erect appearance. She speaks with a slight Trinidadian accent and is also diabetic and suffers from dizzy spells. Anyone with information relative to the whereabouts of Marcel Smith is asked to contact emergency number 211 or the nearest police station. And though missing for months now, police continue their investigations into the disappearance of several men. They are Lionel Howell, Dwayne Pigott, Anthony Griffith, and Sidneyata Holford. Howell was reported missing since May 30th, Pigott on March 27th, Griffith on the 10th of January and believed to be at sea, and Holford on January 15th. The public is being reminded that they can still provide information that can assist in the investigations into these missing men. Well, more news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you believe the attitude of Barbadians to marijuana is changing? You can text yes or no to short code 8111 and we'll have the results for you by the end of our news.
Naturally better orchard.
Time for fun, bring out the sun. Nutritious, so delicious. Way less sugar, no artificial sweeteners. Orchard, a natural choice. Orchard, with real fruit juice. Orchard, celebration in each pack.
Orchard 250 ml juice drinks now deliciously improved. Free of artificial sweeteners. More natural goodness with between 33 to 55% less added sugar. Orchard, a perfectly natural choice.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Community Files.
Are you an Independence baby born on November 30th of any year? Better yet, were you born on November 30th, 1966? The Barbados Government Information Service wants to get in contact with our island's Independence babies as we count down to Barbados's 50th anniversary of independence in 2016. Give us a call at 427-4853 or 426-2242 with your details Mondays to Fridays between 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m.
The Barbados Agricultural Society is now in a much better position to help farmers on the island. It has become a reality through the signing of an agreement between the BAS and Propel, which stands for the Promotion of Regional Opportunities for Producers through Enterprises and Linkages. It's being funded by the Canadian government to the tune of $290,000, which will be dispersed over the next 16 months. CEO of the BAS, James Paul, says one of the outcomes of that project will be the ability of the society to produce reliable statistics on the performance of farmers.
Which is absolutely essential, especially if we are going to the point where we are being market-driven in terms of trying to satisfy the market demands for our produce at the same time.
And Project Director of Propel, Doug Graham, says the program will aim to link producers to markets.
and ensure that the quality and quantity of produce being produced by farmers is meeting the needs of the market to try to sort of increase the value of agricultural production in Barbados and the Caribbean more widely. We have our head office here in Barbados, but we also have offices in Guyana and Jamaica.
The Barbados Film and Video Association has been reporting on its efforts to take local film to the general public. President Lynette Eastman says it's one of the objectives of the ongoing Barbados Visual Media Festival.
So instead of screening our films in one or two venues, we identify several venues within different communities in Barbados and take the films there so that Barbadians can see our films. So that if individuals are not coming to us, we will take the films to them. And secondly, we wish to develop within Barbados a culture of watching the films of independent filmmakers. Barbadians do like to watch movies, but we have grown up on the Hollywood style movie, when the truth is that many, many, many people in the world actually make films.
Well, Ms. Eastman says while there has been a marked increase in interest, filmmakers have to improve the quality of their productions and ensure the business model created is custom-made for the island. The Visual Media Festival continues every Thursday, Friday and Saturday at locations across the island until the end of this month. The Visual Media Awards are slated for October 21st at the Frank Colomer Hall. Well, more young people are benefiting from technology thanks to the Aaron and Christina Trust Foundation. And this time it's donated Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 tablets to all Class 3 students and several teachers at the St. Albans Primary School. The presentation was done yesterday morning. The devices were actually contributed by a Canadian couple who have made Barbados their second home. Aaron Trust says promoting education in the primary and secondary schools remains their objective since the foundation was formed in 2009.
Christina and I chose education because we have two young children and we see the importance of them using technology and learning about technology. And we're very aware that many parents in Barbados are not able to provide their children with such assistance. And that's why we did focus on education, and that's why we started our first initiative, which was technology, and now we're onto tablets.
And Principal Wendy Prince says they have major plans for the devices, while Member of Parliament for St. James North Edmund Hinkson says the donation is an example of giving back to your community. Well, still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. But first, we want to hear from you on this question. Do you believe the attitude of Barbadians to marijuana is changing? You can